Hi everyone, it's Kasia from Tarot Map. Welcome to Taroton 2021. As you know, I have been part of Taroton since the beginning, the very first one. This is the fourth one. I genuinely like the idea of it, and I love that each year we get different people and a lot of people who present for the first time. It's quite exciting. It's quite, nervous. We're nervous to present. And I find this idea really kind of lovely for a lot of folks to come together and share something that they are passionate about in kind of big brackets of tarot, right? So I am pre-recording this just in case my internet wasn't good enough for me to continue live. If this is going to be the case, I'm going to just upload this video and you won't, have to sit there and look at me kind of disintegrating or pixelating every 2 minutes. As you know, or don't, I'm Kasia. I'm Kasia who runs Tarot Map, and I'm an astrologer and tarot reader, and this is my job. Right now, presently, I'm living in this place in Croatia, but I usually live in Poland. And this might change, who knows? But right now I live in this beautiful place at the sea, in the little village. Thus, the internet problems that just come with the beauty of nature, right? So the topic of this Taroton meeting is devotion and divination. Many of you follow me on Instagram, and if you don't, please subscribe. It's all the links are below in the description box. And if you follow me, you know that for the last 2 years, since 2019, so maybe coming towards the 3 years, I have been doing a lot of work on the sacred feminine and the feminine god, and really researching, remembering, recalibrating my personal stance on devotion and connecting to something that is in a way bigger than me, but at the same time reflects me back to myself. And recently, actually, when I was thinking about subject for this talk, I came to realize that practicing devotion to a chosen deity, in my case, I love to practice devotion to Mary in her many, many faces. Practicing devotion to a chosen deity, it's actually a practice to be devoted to yourself. And I'm not talking about yourself on this very psychological kind of level, but to yourself that often our human brain cannot grasp if we do not open also or add our heart to it. I'm talking about the vastness of us. And devotional practice, it's really beautiful. And because I'm a tarot reader, I'm an astrologer, I obviously had to somehow add tarot and astrology to my devotional practice. And I didn't want to repeat what I recorded in my Mary inspired class on devotion and divination, which for all the Taroton readers I offer on a special discount. So you can use code devotion and divination. Go to my website and you're going to get a very, very good discount for the class if you're interested in a little bit more of a Mary angle. But in this class, I'm actually sharing the many faces of Mary. So I'm sharing, sorry. Yeah, sorry, my coffee machine was cleaning itself. So in the Mary inspired class, I'm sharing a lot of, like a presentation of how I see Mary and how Mary connects for me to all the other goddesses before her. And that I'm actually personally, because I have Pluto square moon and Venus, explore right now the feminine god, so the feminine side of whatever we think of divinity or God. And in some way, I would like to see it a little bit aside from all religions, but I can't say that it's totally like black and white, you know, everything is kind of connected and somehow shifts into one another. But in this Taroton talk, what I would like to talk about is see and show and think and kind of have a conversation with you and make you kind of maybe inspired to research that for yourself, to check which cards in tarot, in different tarot decks, connect us to devotion. So before we go into cards, I looked at devotion in Cambridge Dictionary, and I wanted to check, you know, I'm not a native speaker, to see what devotion, how devotion is kind of described in the dictionary. And it has, of course, a few descriptions, few levels. So once it's a loyalty or love or care for someone or something. It's following religious teachings or religious worship. It acts of religious worship, especially prayers. It can mean also support and affection. And you are devoted to something or to someone or to an aspect of life or just to life, right? Because for me, I could probably use a synonym: Mary equals life or God equals life. And synonyms for devotion, which I found were in a way really true. It's love, passion for something. When you're devoted to something, you're passionate about it. You love it. You're excited about it. It fills your heart. It makes you feel grateful. It makes you feel happy, joyous, but not in the umbrella, in the drink happy. You can cry your tears. You can, you know, be in the dark hole, but devotion keeps you alive. It's somehow, yeah, it's just this kind of fullness of life. So it's love, passion, awe. When you look at beautiful nature, when you look at trees, when you look at stones, when you look at animals, humans, you know, you're in awe of life. It's also a synonym to devotion is admiration or reverence. And I feel like all of these synonyms are part of how I practice devotion to particularly Mary, but she really comes for me in many, many aspects and many, many faces and many, many forms. And in Mary Inspired class, which I was just talking about, which is on discounted price for all the Taroton viewers, I show a presentation of the connection to Mary to other goddesses, and also there is a big divination part with different spreads inspired by kind of Mary angle. So if anybody wants the Mary angle, please go there. But today, in practicing devotion, as I mentioned, with tarot cards, I was looking for images that inspire that devotion, devotional kind of feeling of awe, of love, admiration, of reverence. And as I mentioned before, devotional practice brings me back to myself and brings me back to being devoted to myself. And in a way, when you're devoted to yourself, you, I think, on the most um, like aware level, you just cannot do any different but give yourself to others and give your talents to others and share your talents with the world and be of service to others through your life, through being yourself, through being in awe of life. So I don't know if it makes sense, because obviously this is one of those subjects when not everything is like black and white. You can't take devotion on just intellectual level. You really have to drop down to your body, drop down to your heart, and kind of take it on all these different levels. But we're practicing true self-love and acceptance and inclusivity and presence. through devotional practice. And I think devotion to me also is connected to ritual. So for example, in the Mary class, I share a lot of my personal rituals and rosaries and all of this kind of little bits and pieces. With tarot rituals, you know, each of us has a different ritual, or we can introduce little ritualizing of tarot cards. So if we look at the 4 aces, right, and the hands that kind of come out of the skies and hold a special magical object, we can take aces a very devotional level, as a devotional practice, as a practice of offering. So every day you could offer something from these 4 different levels, from the physical body, from your inspiration, your spirit, your creativity, from your mental activity and your intellect, your mind, also from your heart, from your emotional body. And I thought, like, looking at the aces, that that's such a beautiful cards for offering. This is actually this gorgeous deck made by Carol Herzer. It's the glitter deck. My gorgeous friend Victoria has gifted me this deck. I'm still, I can't believe that I own it. Carol's decks are quite pricey, especially the glitter ones, I mean, because, you know, they take a lot of work, obviously. So the aces with the hands, I think they're beautiful devotional cards when you have the hand offering something. And often if you do any form of devotion to a deity of your choice, you offer your time, you offer your presence, you offer your attention. And this is practice of being present in the now. So even drinking a coffee in the morning with reverence, with beauty, with gratitude that you actually can drink that coffee, can be a devotional practice. So I want you to take it maybe a little bit broader and a little bit wider than just devotion in this kind of strict religious sense. So when we think of tarot, or what I was thinking of tarot and what cards speak or scream devotion to me, I came with this idea actually by working on Ellen Lorenzi Princess Tarot of the Crown deck, because I was reading on 9 of Cups, which I pulled, and she speaks there that she mentions the word devotion. And when I saw it, I knew what I wanted to do, what angle I want to take in this talk. So 9 of Cups, when we think of it in tarot, it's one of those cards that, you know, in Rider-Waite-Smith, it's kind of a bit weird looking in some way. But when we think of 9 of Cups, it's definitely, I always like in Carol Herzer how she puts that kind of spark of energy around the heart area, because it feels like we're satisfied, we're kind of whole, we call all the pieces, all the emotional bits back into our heart, and we look maybe at the world from another perspective, from this kind of perspective of we okay with what is. We may not be perfect, we will never be perfect, we sit where we are, we in this place, we are as we are, we call all the kind of emotional bits and our lost bits into ourselves, and we look at the world from that heart open perspective. And here also, because it's usually a wish card, right? A happy card when we look at it in tarot. And 9 of Cups, I think, is a beautiful devotional card. It's a card that can teach us to actually be playful, to remember that devotional practice, ritual practice, working with a deity, working with an animal ally, working with a plant, it can be a very playful, very exciting, very creative, very passionate act, okay? It doesn't have to be mournful and serious and really, you know, kind of very structured. I think the playfulness is a great sign of devotional heart. And also when you engage in what you love in general, that could be also, you know, one of the expressions of 9 of Cups. If you engage in what you love, if you do whatever you do with love, with this sense of, oh, I'm so grateful, you know, that I can have a coffee in peace, looking at the beautiful view. I can read my book. I can wash my dishes. I can actually use my hands. Anything can become a devotional practice. Also, when all the pieces of your heart come back to you, you know, come together. Even the bits which were scattered, which were maybe given away recklessly, when we had broken, and you know, we feel like we lost a bit of our heart, when we in grief, when people who we love die, we feel like bits of our hearts are being, you know, chipping away. When we call this back, and or actually even accept our hearts or embrace our hearts with the broken bits and pieces. And I feel like, you know, this would be a perfect card also for this Japanese, now I forgot of course what it's called, but you know, when you put the gold in between the broken bits and pieces of the balls, that's a beautiful practice for mending a broken heart and calling a grieving, like a calling in the acceptance, the compassion, the love to all the broken bits and pieces, and actually being okay with what is, you know, being okay with any emotion. So Ellen Lorenzi Prince, in her playbook to the Tarot of the Crown, she also says, build a housing for your goddess or god, or a special spirit friend. You know, if you work with spirit guides or do any of this kind of imaginary work as well, make it real. So actually make a house for your goddess. You know, I'm not in my home, but like this is my tiny little altar that I made. So the feather was sent to me by Melissa Lucia. This is a cedar tree which grows around this very old church here. And this is Mary Henlin's Mother of Herbs, which she made for me. And this is sand, like not sand, but little stones from the beach around here at the Adriatic Sea. So, you know, I have bits and pieces that to me are kind of sacred, like an old hagstone and, you know, little piece of stone that I found like this, and I've got my Chiron crystal with me, and I've got a little shell that I found on the beach. So you can do with whatever you have, wherever you are. You can definitely find something special and make it a creative project that comes from your heart and includes all those kind of emotions of devotion, of awe, of passion, of reverence, of beauty, that you can actually take your love for something, for life, for Mary, for your deity, for yourself to another level and actually manifest it in the physical reality as well. She also says something that says, sing a song of your devotion. And I love just sometimes words for words, like, you know, sing a song of your devotion. I thought that was beautiful. So I think Nine of Cups, it's really a gorgeous card for devotion. I actually picked from the Lonely Dreamer Tarot quite a few cards because I think this deck is so beautiful. But I would like to actually share another card, so Nine of Cups also here. I wanted to also share another few cards that I think are amazing for kind of when I think devotion, that they are devotion cards. I think anybody who practices devotional practice or does devotion or has devotion to any like deity or anything feels a little bit like a fool sometimes, you know. It's give and take. You can't find proof for everything you feel or experience at times. You can't be sure of anything. You know, with Mary, I sometimes go on like a scrapes of my vision, scrapes of my dream, scrapes of something I read and I feel drawn to, and I usually follow that kind of little sign. So I think Fool is perfect card for practicing devotion, for taking a risk, taking a leap of faith, and having faith that whatever, you don't have to know. And I like how this is a kind of like eclipse season, and we are now in this eclipse season as well. And I feel this Fool card is a wonderful image of taking that leap of faith and going on with it, even if you feel foolish, even if you feel a bit like, I don't fucking know what I'm doing, you know. But there is something about it that it's so compelling, that it's so drawing, that you're ready to actually jump into, like, over the abyss, right? You're ready to take a plunge. And you can't actually be stopped. I feel like this devotional kind of act has that compelling compassion, compelling passion in it. And if you want or not, like, you go for it, you know. At least that's how I experience this. So I think Fool is really a wonderful, wonderful card to practice. You know, there is a Fool from Tarot of the Crown, when you just find your star within, but it's like this dark, like, you don't know with devotion sometimes. Like, if somebody asks me about Mary, I'm not sure 100% of anything. This is more about, it's not even, it's a mystery, right? You don't want to, it's like Black Madonna mystery. You don't want to like decipher it to the bone. Like, you can't do it even if you want to. There's not something that you will, you know, find out like this. So another card that I thought quite beautiful when it comes to practicing devotion, right? It's Two of Cups, especially in this Lonely Dreamer tarot. And Two of Cups, it's such a beautiful card of this devotion to oneself as a whole. So if it's the feminine, masculine, and non-binary, but like mix of both aspects of the psyche, and this kind of equality and acceptance and love and seeing the other side, I think that's like such a beautiful card of like this emotional also embrace and emotional stability and emotional balance, and being able to open up to our, you know, divine nature. Or if we always in the divine nature, in a sense, like, this now sounded not right, but if we always, let's say, more in the higher chakras, if we always kind of disconnected from the body, from this reality, from material reality, then Two of Cups would teach us maybe to see this side, you know. If you mostly focus on work, on your body, on like regular life, then maybe Two of Cups would teach you how to focus on the more spiritual, the more contemplative side of life, right? So there's a lot of different aspects. Another card that I thought really made me feel compassion. Well, in the Lonely Dreamer tarot, most of cards are amazing. I'm just like going through them now, and I'm like, oh God, this and this and this. But I thought Six of Cups, even in the regular, you know, in the regular Rider-Waite-Smith deck, or in Tough deck, which I also have here in a sec. I show you where there's pleasure, right, in Tough, the beautiful flowing cups. But I love it especially in Rider-Waite-Smith when there is offering of something to someone else. And I think when you practice devotion, that offering, that's why the aces are so amazing, that offering and connection to somebody else, and taking out of your time, your life, your whatever ideas you have about life, you know, taking time out of it and actually creating something for the image of deity that you have, creating something for life, being present in the moment enough to offer it. I think this beautiful card, Six of Cups, of offering, of emotional closeness, of compassionate looking at something, or maybe paying it forward to someone, you know. Such a gorgeous idea with the Six of Cups. I thought that was really cute. Another one I felt, which came up often when I think of well and well symbols, and the depth of the hole in the earth, holy, wholeness, whole, dark hole, galactic center. There's a lot of stuff that's coming up for me when I think of well, and I'm working right now a lot with the well symbolism. This could be also a beautiful card of devotional practice when you actually imagine things, when you allow your creative spirit to go beyond the visible, beyond the intellectual, because devotion is never purely, you cannot grasp it with intellect. So you really have to engage other senses, other planes of existence. So here with the cups, you know, that kind of openness to see things from another angle, openness to be able to be in awe of things shown, to follow the signs, to not be afraid to have a choice, to see different levels. It's such an energetic card to me. You know, it's a 7. You could always think of 7 chakras, of 7 different levels or spheres of existence, of different abilities that you can develop as well. So with the 7 of Cups, I thought that was a really beautiful card that shows up. I'm just going to show you another one. I thought, like, in general, in Cups, you know, this gorgeous Page of Cups, uh, it's just such a beautiful, beautiful card, this Page of Cups. And I love this particular image because the person, like, looks so devoted. They look like enchanted by that shell. The shell seems to be maybe alive, or like really telling stories, like they seem like listening to lullaby or something. So I think Knight of Cups, Page of Cups, Queen of Cups, you know, they show a lot of active emotional devotion, you know, being devoted in a sense of like, I wanna, it's like this kind of passion of feeling exalted in some way with devotional practice. There's this gorgeous 10 of Cups with the Lonely Dreamer Tarot, which I also feel like, especially in this deck, that's why I would like advise you to go through different decks and take a look, because each deck will have some different images that you might, you know, kind of remind you of devotional practice, like this offering devotion as a mother, devotion devoted to the family, to bringing forth the creative child. That's if you don't have a physical child, bringing forth the creative light to your light to the earth. Judgment is like really recalling and contemplating your particular vision for life, you know, this beautiful kind of offering again, like with the aces. I love the you know, making music, making art, knitting, doing things, like every action can be devotional. This beautiful hermit card, taking time of solitude as well to really practice devotion. I feel like devotion that is disconnected from the body, disconnected from the present moment, can take you out. Like it can become a glamour, it can become an escapism, it can become just like a string of actions that actually, you know, don't have roots. And I think rooted devotion is, that's why I think that Mary in her many faces shows how much the feminine was fucked up over centuries. And actually, I'm going to share an article for Cartomancer at some point, and I'm going to be writing about Visio Divina. So you know this monastic practice of Lectio Divina, when you read it's monastic, so you read the Bible or you read a piece of text, you contemplate on it, you pray on it, you read it like reverently, and you practice and contemplate on what that actually means in your life. And I think with Visio Divina, it's the same, but with art. So you contemplate a piece of art, you contemplate or mediate between yourself and the statue of Mary, let's say. So you connect and revere and meditate and contemplate what the piece of art or a statue has in, like what it has to offer you, but how in touch you are at this moment with it. And this Visio Divina, it's a beautiful practice when tarot cards can be used in a really beautiful, successful way. So tarot for contemplation, tarot for meditation. In the Mary inspired class, which you can get with the discount, I share a lot of contemplative decks that I use, but any deck can be used for practice of Visio Divina, or practice of contemplation, or practice of meditation. Look at this 6 of Pentacles as a devotional card, that offering and also receiving, because through this devotion practice, it's not only like giving and offering, but through this you notice how the world opens up, how people open up, how life feels you. It's an incredible, just incredible back and forth that goes on. And I love that Six of Pentacles and Six of Pentacles in general, but also this one reminded me of the well somehow. It can be anything, can be a celestial happening, but yeah, it's like a well. So there's so many different, look at this beautiful King of Pentacles, the deep offering from the body, the confidence that you can offer, the spark of like life force that can come from the solar plexus that can be offered to others. Of course, we can play victims, we can play low, we can play small, but what if you awaken and take that power that you have and share this, and claim this and reclaim it and remember it. So that's Six of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, beautiful cards. I also thought for devotional image, the Hangman. It's such a gorgeous image, the Hangman, for devotion, because I think devotional practice really requires stopping, surrendering, letting go of your images, of your ideas, often letting go of intellect, often letting go of, oh my God, what am I doing? That kind of doubt and fear and thinking, what the fuck is this? You often don't know what's going on. That's why Fool was such a great image. I feel like sometimes, great for devotional practice would be suit swords, like stopping yourself. Just stop and feel what is. Stop, don't go, don't project into the future. Just stop, feel, don't do, sit, look, feel what is now. That kind of upload of Two of Swords, whereas this dynamic silence, as I like to call this card, also reshifting and changing and actually dying to your old views, to your old beliefs, to your old limits. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous way of looking at devotion. There is this beautiful apparition tarot that I think, like, for anybody who practices any devotion, but especially devotion to the feminine god, apparition tarot by Mary Evans, it's really, really great. There's so many beautiful images which you can just contemplate with, and contemplation, it's like Christian meditation. It's basically really shutting up sitting in silence, but it's a dynamic silence. It's not just sitting and not think. It's like you can contemplate a piece of art, you can contemplate the image of God, goddess, you can contemplate nature, you can contemplate sea. So it's really kind of finding like a connection to the whole and finding a connection to everything that is. And I love in this deck the white space, but it has so many different like mystical symbolism. So here we have that gorgeous Venus with Queen of Cups, but also the more fighting spirit and the open cup like a grail. And we have the Venus of Willendorf with the Queen of Pentacles, the wheat as the symbol of Demeter and, growth of earth and Gaia. There's Queen of Wands with the fire, ritual, candle making. You can make so many wonderful rituals. I love this image of Three of Wands. Angela Magic calls the Three of Wands, what does she call it? Everything is a spell, I think. And I love this because this is when you actually, like a domino effect. When you start, that's why I said like the Fool is great card image for devotion, because once you start, you really are compelled to go forth, even though you don't know where you're going. You're not sure where this event leads you. The doors open from time to time and can take you a totally different direction that you thought you would go. And the devil card, the skeletons come out of the cupboard. You really show your true face. Whatever was hidden sometimes comes undone and like shows up. When you pray, when you in gratitude, when you actually devoted to life, you magnetize and you like a magnet to things. Different things come towards you, and not only good things what we think as humans, oh, that's good, because there is this a lot of wonderful stories when you think, yeah, that's good, but it's in this moment it's good, but in 5 minutes it might not be good. So just taking with life, taking what life offers you, but also co-creating through knowing how you are at power to also co-create your life, but have enough humbleness and humility to know also that you part of it, not the center of the fucking universe. You here with everything, you embedded in the matrix, and the matrix is constantly, working, and it shifts and shapes depending also how you see it, what you're projecting on it. So I love this card as like this magnet, that's like what you pray for you get, or beware what you wish for, right? But also that growth, the magical ritual, sometimes the fire of burning, the passion, the kind of intensity of initiation that devotion can take you through. Love this strength card with this different, angel Gabriel coming to Mary. Do you have this openness she showed when she just trusted, surrendered, and went for it? There's Lilith, there's, snake goddess, all these beautiful images, and that the feminine god that's still alive, it's great. It's awakening. It's like with Black Madonna's mysteries coming back, that that feminine side of God. And I would really love to encourage you and inspire you to use tarot as the sacred seeing. Of course, the Mysteries of Mary tarot deck from Hetien Grobler, and now the Black Madonna tarot deck, which starts shipping right now. It's Mary related, and it's totally perfect deck for practicing contemplating on, first of all, the image itself, but also all the symbols and all these amazing stories, and connecting the dots, which Hetien, writes about in her book. It's a springboard for experiencing the mysteries of the divine in this particular way, with as a Mary. But if you're totally allergic, you don't want anything to do with any religion, you can pick anything, and you can make your own deck. Devotion is creative, devotion is all, devotion is passion. So the star, also this receiving the grace in whatever comes. Sometimes devotion comes with like slap, sometimes you get sick, sometimes you test it, it's not always rosy, and so please so this is from the Apparition Tarot. I wanted to show some of the images that I picked from, and I could probably pick different ones at different times, but the traditional deck, this is the handmade Jeanne Dodali tarot by Tarot Sheet Retrieval. So, of course, Ace of Cups, see you as a vessel receiving all of. I love the Four of Swords as well. I also had it somewhere in the Lonely Dreamer tarot, I think. When Four of Swords is such a great card for here, especially in the traditional tarot deck. I love the image when you have the plant and it's protected, like from outside, like just hidden, and maybe it will wither, maybe it's the cut flower that needs water, but for right now all this flower needs a little bit of peace, enclosure. Also Seven of Cups, again, like a big cup, but also something that's like protection of the Holy Grail, like there's this an embrace and that kind of balance of the top level and bottom level. I love the Judgment card. I think for devotion, again, when you hear the call, do you answer? Do you follow like the fool without knowing exactly what's going on? Do you see the synchronicities? Can you make this magical kind of Ariadne thread, that takes you on into the labyrinth and out? Of course, High Priestess, just beautiful. The Six of Coins again, strong center, and then going out and in. Ace of Cups and Ace of Coins, the beautiful page, right? Pope, why not, you know? Again, if you are allergic to religions, just go to Hierophant and, you know, find your own way. This is just all, of course, examples. So that's from the traditional tarot, which I love working with traditional tarot. I also pulled some of the top images, which I felt like, you know, that Ace of Cups, it's just isn't like, this is like one of the most amazing cards. And for devotion, it's like being filled with that sometimes amazing energy, but filled with life, even when like life goes to shit. You still have that center, something that grounds you, something that flows through you. And it's not that type of, you know, being a good girl will get you good things. Devotion is alive. Devotion is like life, and life happens, you know, and you don't have control over life. So that's that Six of Cups, which is pleasure here. And I think playfulness, pleasure, passion, that part of devotion. Happiness for this Nine of Cups, right? Beautiful. I love this also. It's Mars in Capricorn, but work, like a holy work, you know, holistic work, cooperation. You with life, mind, body, spirit, you and other people, you and the divine, you and the wholeness of universe. There's the Hermit. Amazing, this couple, just I think devotion cards right there. And I love that net, that's just energy lines, the ley lines of earth, the surrendering. Here when you look at, you know, the open arms, just beautiful. And all of the capsules I picked because they so full of devotion, you know, that offering, that ritual, that mystical, meditative, contemplative approach. It's just so, so beautiful. So I think the time is running out. Also, I wanted to just mention that Jupiter is in Pisces right now. It went into Pisces on May 13th, and it is going to go back to Aquarius on July 28th, so like end of July. And Jupiter in Pisces is amazing for embracing that devotional work, because Jupiter in Pisces brings a lot of possibility of healing, a lot of possibility of emotional healing, of mystical experiences, of psychic openings, of intuitive, creative, artistic expression. It's very compassionate, idealizing kind of passage. And I sometimes say that people are too stupid to use Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces, because you have to really ground. Otherwise, you can go into escapism, into idealism, into a kind of exaltation, glamour. And it can take you really away from what you are trying to do, right? So just think about Jupiter in Pisces with this reverence in mind. Like, it's a full card. It's like, wow, we can really reimagine, revisit and reheal and do differently. What would you imagine, you know? Where would the Fool take you? And if you need a help of any form of deity, or any spirit being that maybe you find inspiring, devote something to this being, devote yourself to this practice, and practice it from whatever angle it's comfortable for you and brings you grounded, embodied, holistic and long and not straight journey into yourself, actually, right? Back into yourself. So my time is finished. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I hope this recorded version will be okay for you to follow. Life is always a bit different. Right now, I would like to ask you to move over to Becca. The link to Becca's video and her channel is in the description box below. Also remember that there is a beautiful discounted special for you, for all the Tarotan viewers. The code and dates when the special is valid are also in the description box, so please take a look at this. And tomorrow, or no, today, at the end of today, at 24 CET time, so a couple more hours, I do offer a astrology reading or astrology session. It's been discounted for a while. It's the last day today. So if anybody wanted an astrology session with me, for example, or if anybody wanted an astrology session, you can get one with me. This on special is pre-recorded version, is hour and a half, and it includes an hour of astrology, in-depth astrology reading of your chart, plus tarot and oracle reading. All the description is in the description box. The reading is discounted right now, finishes 30th of May European time. So if anybody wants to take a look and advantage of the special, please do. And go to Becca and enjoy Becca's segment. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and yeah, happy Taroton, everybody. And thanks to Jenn and anybody who helped Jenn to actually prepare Taroton this year, because Simon couldn't do it this year, but for personal reasons. Hi Simon, anyway, and thank you Jenn for taking over, and just you were amazing. So thanks Jenn. And you can see Jenn's segment before me, right? So if I click, I will leave both links to the girls in the description box, and all the specials will be in the description box as well. So I hope you enjoyed it. Share with me in the comments what devotional cards you think would be, what tarot cards would be a great depiction of devotion, and let's have a conversation about it. So I wanted to add this little bit about Jupiter, just for those who are maybe a bit more interested in astrology. And I noticed I have a little bit more time, so I just recorded this extra bit to add to the video. So Jupiter in Pisces, Jupiter is traditional ruler of Pisces, which means that it feels energetically at home in Pisces. So it's a strong time for us collectively when a planet rules a sign and goes through that sign. And Jupiter went into Pisces, which is a mutable water sign, meaning mutable is adaptable, changeable, curious, kind of not that stable or fixed, but easily adjustable. And Jupiter went into Pisces on May 13th, and it stays there till July 28th. Then it goes back to Aquarius, where it has been in Aquarius since that big conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, end of 2020, from end of December 2020. So Jupiter is actually in Aquarius, goes into Pisces now for this couple of months, and it's like a prelude, like you can watch yourself now from 13th of May till 28th of July, what themes come up for you, what possibilities or openings are happening. Jupiter in Pisces brings gentle energy. It can be a lot about release and emotional connection. We have been going through a lot collectively since COVID-19, so that actually brings that sense of healing and releasing expectations and taking it slower, maybe getting insights and broader perspective on reality, and how we see life. So it's a gentler kind of watery, mystical energy with a lot of maybe openings into the mystery. So that's why I think this devotion talk, if you're inspired by Mary or by any other goddess or god, work with nature, plants, the celestial bodies, that's all can bring a sense of wholeness and togetherness with Jupiter in Pisces. So when Jupiter goes back into Aquarius at the end of July, 28th of July, we might feel like we're going back to the themes of December 2020, right? So the Aquarian themes. So take a look at your own life and see how are you doing from December 2020 till May, and then now for the next 2 months, and then maybe see if there is some form of revision of previous themes. I hope that it's not going to be back to lockdown or some other stuff, but nevertheless, Jupiter goes into Aquarius, and from 28th December 2021 till 11th of May and goes back to Pisces again. That's what planets do. Usually they go forward, they go backwards, and they go forward again. And Jupiter is right now in Pisces, then goes back to Aquarius, then goes back to Pisces, then goes into Aries and goes back to Pisces, only to move into Aries by December 2022. So pay attention to the themes that come up for you. As I said, you can check where you have Pisces in your chart and see how your chart and what area of your life is being activated by Jupiter. Jupiter is a very benefic planet that usually brings with itself growth, expansion, kind of makes of whatever is bigger and expands and grows. So if you feel down, it can actually make you feel even more down. But if you feel up, grateful, work with gratitude, work with devotion. In Pisces especially, it's about surrendering. It's the last sign of the zodiac. It's about surrender. It's about seeing bigger perspective, not taking just the narrow personality kind of type of view at life. It's the divine, it's unconscious. A lot of things from unconsciousness can come up to the surface for us to actually deal with it or accept it or work with it or express it somehow or understand it. So this Pisces energy, also Neptune goes through Pisces for the last few years. It's going to be in Pisces till 2026, when then it starts the new cycle. We kind of really collectively at the finish and beginning of a lot of big cycles. So 2020 was amazing because we started a lot of cycles, but we also finishing a cycle of Pluto in Capricorn, which is going to last till 23, 24. And we're finishing Neptune in Pisces and then going into Aries. And Aries is always like the new cycles of the big cycles. And that's big, right? So 2026, 2024, we're kind of still finishing off. And of course, at the same time, starting other things. And I wanted to share one of these spreads from Ellen Lorenzi Prince's book, the playbook for Tarot of the Crown. Just if you feel like, sometimes we can feel like, I don't know what I love really right now. Tarot is great, or oracle decks are great tools to connect us, to mirror back to us what we might be drawn to at the moment, even if we might feel down and not really connected and not really inspired. Using cards can bring back some sense of beauty and inspiration and some connection that maybe it's hard to think of when you like thinking about it. But if it's difficult, just use cards to inspire yourself and don't force yourself to know the answers. You don't have to be, oh, is this definitely what the cards are showing me? I don't know, now I should be just writing, and just be open to mystery. You don't have to know. You don't have to know concrete answers. Be okay with kind of half answers, of half sentences. You don't have to finish everything with a dot, an open sentence, which can evolve and shift and invite you to deeper exploration of something. But I have this spread, which is kind of not even a spread, it's more like a contemplation practice. So it's like Visio Divina practice with 4 cards. You would find a deck that you feel drawn to, and then you'd pick 4 cards. So one will be the power of devotion. So where could you be devotional? And here, let's say I pulled it from Mysteries of Mary, 2 of Roses, and we see the little Mary, the baby Mary. And I feel like the devotion to the innocence, devotion to inner child, devotion to embracing that kind of gentle, rosy, growing part of us. That just off the bat, then I would go deeper. I would sit and actually look at all the imagery on the card. I would go to the book and read what Etienne wrote about it. I would maybe just pull some other cards about my inner child, what's my relation to my inner child right now, and so on and so forth. So this was the power of devotion. What do maybe I need to be devoted to at this moment? Maybe just today, maybe just this moment. The power of direction. And here it's 10 of vessels. So that's Anna and Mary. And again, you know, here this inner child and here the mother and child. Again, this mothering, doing every action that I do with love, being fully present and passionate about what I do. Maybe choose things that really bring me joy, or whatever I have to do, bring awareness and joy into doing it. So that's the power of direction. So first was power of devotion, then it's power of direction, and I'm going to link it below. And then the power of grace. And that's 9 of roses. So here we have 9 of pentacles. So we have 10 of cups, 2 of pentacles, 9 of pentacles. So power of grace. And I love that red passionate color. And I feel like, to me right now, what it shows me, it's the rosary, the prayer, the openness to receive, the kind of live blood of the divine, you know, live blood of Mary. And live blood, I mean like force of life. It's that fills my veins, that kind of power of grace, right? So the power of grace. And again, I would sit deeper with it. And the last one is the power of meaning. So also my, you know, intellectual bit. And here we have Mara, the Fool. And I guess that invitation to exploration of things, to exploration of maybe new ventures, exploration, writing, reading, checking. And you know how I'm on this well research. I feel like this is, yeah, go for it, Kasia, you know. That's the power of meaning, but also power of meaning in a sense of stay open, stay fresh, stay like the child, you know, nurture that childlike connection, because that's where the mind is fresh. That's when you open, that's when your meaning is full. And be open to grace through prayer, through rosary, through using cards also in this prayerful way. So this is something that you can try with any deck, and with any you know, aspect. You can pick an area of life and then just see how you can be more devotional to that area or to that person or to that situation, how you can be more directed, how you can open to grace, how you can be more open, and how you can bring more meaning, or how it can be more meaningful to you at the moment. And I think that's where I'm going to close now. So thank you for watching. Again, check Becca's video and check Jenn's video, which was before me. All the links are in the description box. If you would like to check out my Mary class and support me through this way as well, there is a special offer, a special discount for all the Taroton viewers, so make use of it if you're interested. It's a 2-hour class, and I hope you'll be inspired after using it. There is a PDF as well with that kind of divination part, and also with the images of different aspects of Mary and different goddesses. And also, as I mentioned, the astrology special finishes today at 12 a.m. CET time, so a couple more hours to go. If you needed an astrology session, I might be available as your astrologer, so please take a look. There's also a live option, where the live option is 2 hours, but the special is for the recorded astrology session, video recording. So thank you, and head over to Becca and enjoy Taroton. Bye!